BTS is performing at the FIFA World Cup Final halftime show, all 7 of them together on the biggest stage on the planet. Let me set the scene. The World Cup Final, Spain versus Argentina, is already the kind of match that stops the world. But FIFA has decided that's not enough. For the first time in World Cup history, there will be a proper halftime show staged at MetLife Stadium, modeled after the kind of spectacle Americans know from the Super Bowl. And sitting right at the center of that lineup is BTS, performing as OT7, the full, complete, all 7 members formation that fans have been waiting years to see again. This is a big deal on multiple levels, and I want to break down exactly why. First, let's talk about what OT7 actually means, because if you're not deep in the BTS fandom, you might have seen that term and wondered what it stands for. OT7, One True 7, is the way fans refer to BTS at full strength. All 7 members on stage at the same time. RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jung Kook. The reason that matters so much right now is that for roughly 3 years, that wasn't possible. South Korea has mandatory military service, and every member of BTS had to complete it. That's not a choice. That's not a creative decision. That's the law. So the group essentially had to hit pause. No joint performances, no group activities. For one of the biggest acts on the planet, that's a long time to be in suspension. Now here's where the story gets its momentum back. According to the reporting from AS, BTS returned earlier this year, March specifically, with a show in Seoul that marked their official comeback as a complete group. And since then, they haven't slowed down. They've been touring together again, and as recently as June, they stopped in Madrid for 2 sold-out nights at the Estadio Metropolitano as part of their tour called Arirang. 2 shows, both sold out. That's the level we're talking about. So by the time July 19th rolls around and they walk out at MetLife Stadium in front of a global audience watching the World Cup Final, this isn't a tentative reunion. This is a group that has been building back to full speed and is now peaking at exactly the right moment. And the context around this performance matters too. FIFA, under Gianni Infantino, has been very deliberate about positioning this World Cup Final as a global entertainment event, not just a football match. Bringing in a halftime show is part of that strategy. The lineup alongside BTS reportedly includes Justin Bieber, Shakira, and Madonna, among others. That's a serious collection of names. But here's the thing I keep coming back to. All of those artists have something in common. They are huge, but their fan bases are largely Western. BTS brings something genuinely different to this stage. Their audience is global in a way that cuts across continents and demographics that most pop acts simply don't reach. Putting BTS in that halftime slot isn't just booking a popular act. It's a signal that FIFA wants this event to land in Seoul, in Jakarta, in São Paulo, not just in New York and London. Now, there is one detail in all of this that I think deserves a moment of attention, and it's a logistical reality that applies to every artist on that stage. According to the report, each act gets 11 minutes. 11. For a group with BTS's catalog, that's almost a cruel constraint. You're essentially asking them to compress years of music, a massive emotional reunion narrative, and a first-ever World Cup halftime performance into less time than it takes to watch a sitcom cold open. My read on this: 11 minutes for BTS on that stage, in front of that audience, after a 3-year pause. It's going to feel both too short and completely electric. The constraint might actually work in their favor. There's no room for filler. Whatever they play, it's going to hit hard because it has to. So where does this leave us? BTS completed their military service, came back in March, have been touring through the summer, and are now set to perform at the single biggest sporting event in the world, the World Cup Final, as the full OT7 lineup on a stage that has never existed at a World Cup before. That's a remarkable arc. And the question the news leaves genuinely open is, what does this moment mean for what comes next? A group that just played the World Cup Final halftime show, fully reunited, with a global fan base that's been hungry for exactly this. The next chapter of BTS is starting to look very interesting. So tell me, are you watching the World Cup Final for the football, for the halftime show, or honestly for both? Drop it in the comments and subscribe if you want to stay on top of every move in this story.